What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and today the whole archetype for the snow flower or snow petal thing, the archetype that this XEs we covered a while ago is based on has been revealed, and I'm excited to jump into it because I like plant-based archetypes because they have a lot of general support. My only fear going into this is that they're gonna they're gonna like saw me like lower down the power level, and just because they expect you to play like you're gonna play Lone Fire in the deck anyway, but I just personally hope that they don't lower down the power level too much to the point where it's like it's a really slow and awkward deck because it relies you on getting that. But anyway, let's jump into the first card called Sunflower Petal. It is a level 1 water plant effect monster with 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use its first and second effect once per turn each. During your main phase, you can take one Snowflower monster from your deck, except for itself, and either add to your hand or send to your graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except plant monsters. Its second effect is during the end phase. If you control no monsters, or all monsters uh, you control are plant monsters, and this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon it. Okay. It's searchable. You can one for one it out, and it searches you other cards, and then it summons itself back and doesn't banish itself in the graveyard too. Granted, it's restrictive on being your opponent's end phase, but I'd rather it be the opponent's end phase, obviously, than my own. This card's probably going to be a staple in the deck just because it searches and it can throw in the graveyard. At maybe some of them want to be in the graveyard. Maybe they all have that second effect. So who knows? Next card is Snowflower Sprite Prim. Level 4 Water Plant Effect Monster, 800 attack, 1800 defense. You only use its first and second effects once per turn each. If a monster you control is tributed, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. Target up to 2 plant monsters you control, increase their levels by 2 until the end of the turn. Um, we'll have to see how the rest of the deck plays. But on the bright side, oh yeah, I know that the XEs cares about tributing, but on the bright side, this kind of works with Lone Fire. You can tribute Lone Fire, summon out another Lone Fire, and special summon this, and then continue going on with your other Lone Fire shenanigans until and possibly make plays. So that's interesting. Like I said, it depends on what else we get. Moving on. Snow Flower Sprite Cyclin. So probably some type of flower. Uh, I'm not a flower expert. Level 4 water plant effect monster, 1800 attack, 800 defense. First and second effects can only be once per turn each. You can tribute this card from your hand or field, then target up to 2 plant monsters you control, and decrease their levels by 2 during the end phase if this card is in the graveyard because it was tributed and sent there this turn. You can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, you can tribute if you have 2 plant monsters out. You can tribute this from your hand and then special summon this from your hand. That's pretty cool. The downside about this effect is during the end phase of which it's tributed. This isn't a quick effect. I know that the Xyz monster is a quick effect to tribute this, destroy something, and then during the end phase you get this back. But that's my one complaint about this card. So far, I still kind of like the deck, and maybe I'll build a deck around it, and then like kind of have and just play it and all that because I'm really, like I said, I'm a really big fan of plant-based archetypes. Next up, Sunflower Sprite Peony. Level 6 water plant effect. 1000 attack, 2400 defense. You can only use its first and second effects on return. Tribute one plant monster. Special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special by a plant effect, you can add one Snowflower spell or trap from your deck. Okay. I like this card actually. This card's real good because what you do is you can lone fire. You can lone fire it out and then add a card. So that's pretty cool. Uh, you can, yeah, this card's pretty good. It's a level 6, which kind of sucks, but there are ways to summon it and get it into the graveyard, especially with Petal so far. So yeah, this card will probably see play in the deck, at least as a one of, if not more. Next up, Sunfire Sprite Erica. Revert level 6 water effect plant effect monster. Reverse stats of the last one, so 2400 attack, 1000 defense. Second effect on use with turn. When an attack is declared, involving another plant monster, you can tribute this card from your hand or field. The battling monster gains 1000 on turn. If plant monsters you control is tributed while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card in face-up defense position, but its banishment leaves the field. Okay, actually, this works really well with the other cards too. I've seen the synergy. You get out cards and stuff like that, especially the one that you can increase the levels, all that. So you can increase the levels of these two, make them 8, so you can summon the big plant boss monster. Okay. Next up, Sunflower Sprite Snowdrop. Level 8 water plant effect monster, 1200 attack, 2600 defense. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Tribute one plant monster, special summon this card, and one other plant monster from your hand. Also, you can ask for some monsters for the rest of the turn, except for plant monsters. You can target one plant monster you control. Level all plant monsters you control become the target until the end of the turn. Okay, I dig it. Uh, it summons itself and it gives you another monster on top of that. And not only that, the cards so far we've seen, the level 4s want to be tributed instead of the level 1. So you can add the level 1, uh, you summon the level 1, add this card, tribute the level 1, summon another plant monster, one of the other ones, it doesn't matter. Then you can make them all level 8s and go right into the XCs. That's pretty good. That like the synergy of this deck is there, and it doesn't probably isn't still not gonna be like super powerful, but I like that it has synergy, and I know you're probably thinking, but Michael, all archetypes have synergy. No, no, they don't. There's a lot of archetypes that have really awkward synergy, or like two cards have synergy, and then these two cards have synergy, but not the whole deck. Okay, but so far I like this whole set. The whole deck seems like it has synergy, and like even if the deck's power level is low, which it's kind of looking, the payoff is like you get to destroy stuff with the XCs. Isn't probably gonna be good enough, but I do like where this deck is going. Next up, Snowflower Sprite Heliboris. Level 8 water plant effect monster. It has the reverse stats of the last one, so 2600 attack, 1200 defense. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Your opponent activates a monster effect that targets a monster you control. If you control a Snowflower monster quick effect, you contribute this card from your hand or field to negate that effect. If this card is in your graveyard, you can contribute one plant monster. Put some of this card face up defense position, but is banished when it leaves the field. Ooh, okay. Great card. It's a hand trap, and it gets itself back by tributing a plant monster, which we've established and don't want to be tributed. And its downside of banish when it leaves the field isn't a real downside because you're gonna Xyz with it, but you can. Like, I think this is definitely a staple. You just throw three of it in the deck because if they're like you try to mess with your stuff, you just tribute and go nah, it ain't happening. Cool. Great card. So far, my favorite cards in this archetype are the two level 8s and the level 1. They're great. I think they're great. The rest of them, the level 6 is good because they have ways to summon it out and everything, even if it's in your hand. The level 4 summons its the level. Well, this level 6 is good because it adds. This one summons itself in the graveyard and and can get itself in the graveyard too by having like an honest effect. Like this deck is the cards are good on their own, and that's enough for me to like a deck usually. The my issue is that like it doesn't seem like this deck can OTK, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna stun very well either. But there probably will be someone that like breaks it and goes crazy. We've already talked about uh Teardrop. Next up, so now we're getting to the spell and trap cards. Spell cards. Stunning Snowflower. You can only activate one of this card's name once per turn. You can also activate this card by tributing one plant monster. Okay, so I'm assuming that's the cost. Add one Snowflower monster from your deck. Then, if you activated this card by tributing a monster, you can add one plant monster from your deck with a different name from the first monster than the original. Oh, that's an optional activation cost. So it's a search card that can search out Lone Fire Blossom if you tribute a plant monster. That is really, really good. Like you have to be playing Snowflowers in this deck, but that is that is really good. Like that's a good just okay. That's a good spell. A good search card is for in spell cards is like a foundation of a step to a really good deck, at least consistent deck. Even if a deck is consistently bad, it's a win in my book. I'd rather have a consistently bad deck than or a deck that's consistent. At least tries to let you play. Anyway, next up, Swirling Snowflowers. Continue the spell card if well, you can only use this card's name once per turn. First right, if a Snowflower monster you control is tributed, you make your opponent tribute one monster they control. It's their choice. Once returned during your opponent's end phase, if you control no face-up plant monster, destroy this card. Okay, I don't hate this card because it just forces your opponent. It messes with your opponent's stuff while you're going through your stuff since you're tributing things. It's not bad. It's not my favorite either. It's good. It just doesn't do enough in my opinion. Next up, Silent Snowflower. I love the art of this. Really pretty. Normal trap card. You can activate one card. You can only activate one per turn. Whatever. You can only activate this card once per turn. You can also activate this card by tributing one plant monster, but that's an optional thing. Uh, you can special summon one Snowflower monster in your graveyard. Then you tributed a monster. Activate this card. To activate this card, you special summon one plant monster from your graveyard in defense position. So you tribute one monster, get two. Okay. And with the level 4, you tribute a plant monster, 3 out. So it can swarm. It granted this is a trap card, but you can still kind of like swarm the field a little bit. Okay. and it summons one's back. And like normally you're gonna play like Monster Reborn, stuff like that. But I don't think this is a bad card to have, and I've kind of changed my stance on trap cards a little bit because sometimes some traps are just necessary, and especially because like this is searchable through the level 6 that we talked about earlier, and this deck can fill up its graveyard a decent amount, and this is gonna help you like swarm out. And if nothing else, you can build this kind of like a stun deck with it. Actually, now that I'm talking about this, it kind of reminds me of the Witchcrafter deck, which the Witchcrafter deck was never really that good and never took off, but I always enjoyed it. So maybe it's gonna be like one of those decks. Anyway, moving on. Snowflower Sheet. Normal trap card, you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. You can also activate this by tributing one plant monster. Okay, once again, it is a optional tribute. So you target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its effects cannot be activated for the rest of the turn. Tributed a monster, you take control of that monster till the end phase, and if you do, it becomes a plant monster. Oh, so I think that this deck is like it can't OTK, so it definitely should probably be built as some type of control deck, not a stun deck, because you can't. You're not gonna stun. This deck doesn't really want to stun hard, but I can see it like kind of like slow down the game a little bit and grind out advantage in and with all the restrictions of being like plant monster and plant monster and plant monster on these cards. Maybe this is a deck that you play rivalry. All the monsters that we've seen are uh, water types, so maybe you could play Gozen match as well, which is probably better in most situations, just because most archetypes, a lot of archetypes have the common thing is typing rather than attribute more nowadays. But yeah, and then this is getting a reprint. But anyway, I like this deck. Maybe I'll build a deck around it and stuff like that, and show it on the channel. Anyway, that is it for today. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send us any cool deck profiles or replays, our email's in the description. Uh, Comment down below if you want to see me build this deck. And of course, have a wonderful day.